Popular manga censored after its mockery of gender-neutral terms enraged Western tourists. By Ref says Desu, I'm curious what happened here. But I said hi, so I shouldn't turn into a frog. Nah, you're safe. You're safe.
Hey, what's up guys, Ref here. So today we're going to be looking at several censorship related
I've seen this manga everywhere on Twitter for a bit. But I never really knew what it was about. Also, what the heck are these?
concerns spanning across multiple mediums, beginning with some controversy involving the recently released manga Drama Queen. This is a very popular manga currently, and it's now facing some controversy thanks to one panel in particular people are very outraged about. Outraged to the point where there was actual censorship that was introduced. So Drama Queen, to understand, is a manga with the plot here saying, hate brings pain to the world after saving the earth. Aliens have taken up residence with the humans in Japan. And in chapter 1, where a lot of people would eventually be outraged about, there are several examples of people in Japan not liking these aliens, literal aliens, who are now taking up space in Japan. And you can see this manga panel.
Wait, is this once again people cannot differentiate between fiction and reality? Not again. Not again. Not again. Why? Take your meds.
In particular, that would generate most of the outrage, where this guy gets bumped into by one of the aliens and he says, there's nothing false about it, I'm clearly bleeding. And then she says, excuse my partner, please accept my apology instead. And then he walks away saying, freaking aliens, they never apologize. I hope they all die. I hate them, just like I hate women who call their boyfriends their partner.
Okay. What exactly is so bad about this now? Is it this part? Just like I hate women who call their boyfriends their partner. Is that what this is?
Base department. But yeah, these people would get very upset in the comment section of Manga Plus, specifically with this first chapter of Drama Queen, because they believe this is offensive right here and that this somehow is too far. Let's see some of the comments. So here's one with 87 upvotes saying, this manga is disturbing in a very bad way. In a world where we have hate against foreign people and...
It is once again these motherfuckers out there not being able to differentiate between fiction and reality. How the hell do you see aliens and say, this is about foreigners? Like, how? How do you come? That's the same people that say, that's a goblin in Harry Potter. Must be a Jew. Maybe you're the racist? Or the bigot? Or whatever the modern slang we have. What is this? Like, not again.
Refugees, all of the allegories that the MCs use towards the aliens sound very relatable to the dynamics of our own world. Not good at all. Jeez Louise. Leave it to a bunch of tourists to be unable to separate fiction from reality. They see a story that reminds them of something in real life.
It's not just like tourists, it's just people who have no life.
And they start panicking. They find it disturbing and not good at all. Here's another one saying, reminder that questioning the themes in a manga does not mean you are harassing the mangaka or bullying the mangaka, especially in a time where fascism is on the rise. We can have discussions about these topics. My brother in Christ, you're in the comments section of Manga Plus trying to have a conversation about fascism. Like, what are you doing? Find a more appropriate place to talk about these things. And on top of that, we all know that this isn't going to be criticism. They're not going to criticize the mangaka.
Everyone is saying horrible. This is horrible. I say let her cook. I mean... Wait, this is a female mangaka? Interesting.
They're going to attack, just like everyone always does over fictional content. But also, here's another round. Let's look at two more real quick. This person saying, wow, this sucks. There's like thinly veiled racism, and they hate it when people use neutral terms. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, cry about it. Here's another one saying, I want to entertain the idea about how this story is about class divide or settler colonialism. Oh. But these characters put a lot of emphasis on the other that aliens are. MC also hates gender-neutral terms. This chapter was so extreme, I'm expecting a subversion sooner or later. So extreme. That manga panel...
There's no way. There's no way. How do these people exist? How do... Like, what kind of, like, mental gymnastics do you have to make? Like, extreme? Have you read Berserk? That's extreme.
What we saw was so extreme, they expect some revisions here. And guess what? They listened. They actually listened to these maniacs in the comments, because eventually that panel that we saw earlier would be swapped out with different dialogue. You can see this is the updated one that's currently available, saying, excuse my partner in crime. Instead of saying partner, it's now partner in crime. And now he's angry about women who use pet names for their boyfriends instead of criticizing or making fun of
censorship. Love to see it.
Gender neutral terms. So yeah, they actually gave in and censored this. This should never happen. The only time anything should be revised in manga is when there's an error, like something the actual author didn't intend to put in there, a mistake that needs to be revised. This, censoring this panel, is insane. You gave in to outrage and you're setting a very bad precedent. You're basically rewarding, you're giving a feedback loop to these people to cry about fictional content and eventually have these companies bend to their will.
And at the end of the day, even if you bend to their will, they will still hate you. That's why they don't want you to apologize. They want you to submit. Japan, please learn that.
And censor things that don't need to be censored. This is a really stupid situation and a big mistake on the behalf of whoever was responsible specifically for making this change. So the next round of censorship-related drama for this video that we're going to cover involves Zenless Zone Zero.
Is it the camera angles? I assume it's the camera angles.
Now, if you know anything about this game in Hoyoverse, you're probably not surprised they're once again censoring something. They've already censored multiple models in this game particularly, and they're doing it once again. But we're going to begin with this insane headline. One of the worst ones I've ever seen from PC Gamer right here. It says, Gooner 9/11 averted as Zenless Zone Zero's butt obfuscation technology is rolled back in the face of
the Gooner 9/11. Now, me personally, I do not like the over-sexualized stuff. Personally. Personal preference. But I'm not crying about it because it exists. Do what you want, man.
Horny outrage. Yes, this is exactly why journalists deserve absolutely nothing. This is why nobody wants to support journalists anymore. This is why they're becoming obsolete. No one wants to even hate click on their articles anymore. And this is the lengths they have to go. And the author here obviously makes it clear they actually supported the censorship and had no issue with it. And now they're calling the people who criticized and called out the censorship a bunch of gooners and stuff like that. And they're trying to, you know, downplay the outrage as just people complaining about horny things in the game or whatever. It's just really annoying. But as always, if you don't like something in a game, just don't play it. It's as simple as that. And censorship should never be celebrated. And nothing brings woke people and Puritans together quite like fan service, especially in games with anime-style characters. They will celebrate censorship in that context pretty much no matter what. And a lot of people become very big hypocrites on that subject. But anyways, let's see what happened in this particular situation. It all began with some new patch notes for their 1.4 patch, saying right here, one of the notes.
Okay, it is the camera angles. I see the problem. I see the problem. Pretty much like the characters. If you zoom too close, they fade. They just pop out of existence.
Adjust the agent's display for certain angles. When viewed from specific angles, the agent will appear faded. And people started testing this out, and on the left here, you have the cake. On the right, after the patch, it's gone. And before YouTube nukes this video, here's another example. Basically, you zoom in on the back angle of this character, and your camera just disappears. The character goes away. And that's pretty much it. Again, a small change, but why? Why would you do this? Of course, people are celebrating this, or we're celebrating this. And for those people who don't like fan service in this game, why are you playing gacha games in the first place? And also, if you don't like what happens with the camera angle, then don't use that camera angle. It's really just that simple. But the outrage from this would get very, very loud, to the point where in the same day, Zenless Zone Zero would come out and make an official statement changing what they call a bug from that patch, where they say down here, fixed an issue in version 1.4.
Did they completely, like, undo it? I don't believe they have undone it.
Where the fading effect of the agent appears faded when viewed from specific angles. Adjustment did not display correctly under certain circumstances. And they would do that, and actually, if you take a look at the updates, it still has a bit of that blur effect. It's just not as dramatic. You don't completely have the character disappear. So yeah, they reverted it. They kept some of what they were going for. And also, it was so bad, they even provided in-game compensation. That's how much outrage there was about this angle.
Imagine taking people's booty away. So that the people cook you so much you have to give away in-game currency to apologize. They will never forget this though.
Being nerfed in Zenless Zone Zero. So people were very angry and got a very quick response from Hoyoverse. And honestly, good for the people who did that. Call out censorship and have a lot of passion behind it, and you'll actually get some results, and companies might actually listen to you every once in a while. But overall, a very weird situation involving Zenless Zone Zero. Now let's move on to the final story for today. This is a very funny one. So apparently, the Final Fantasy Rebirth director has asked modders not to create or install anything offensive or inappropriate. That is,
tell modders not to do that, and you will have modders who will do that.
An official statement from this director saying, while the team has no plans for official in-game mod support, we respect the creativity of the modding community and welcome their creations, though we ask modders not to create or install anything offensive or inappropriate. So yeah, we know exactly what they're talking about. Don't make fan service related mods, and that's probably what they consider offensive or inappropriate.
No big booba mods.
And it must be this guy's first day on the internet, because that is one of the first lessons you learn. When you tell people to not do something, they're not only going to do it, but they're going to do it with even more enthusiasm than they ever were going to have in the first place. In fact, a lot of people just do it to spite you, because people like to do that. And yeah, I mean, that happens all the time. It actually kind of reminds me of the recent mouthwashing controversy where there was artwork of the character Anya from that game.
Yeah, so people made artwork of that character being sexualized, and then the creator crying about it, and so people made more. Bad idea.
And people got really mad about a lingerie version of this character an artist made. They were saying, you can't do that. She's an abuse victim in the game. You have to take this down. No one should make any sexualized art of her. This is just wrong. And
Ribbit. Hi, Shadow Eclipse. How you doing? Hope you're doing good.
And a bunch of artists, a lot of artists, looked at these people and said, oh, does that art traumatize you? Well, guess what? It's going to happen again. And they made even lewder art of that character, because again, telling people to not do something only encourages them to do it even more. And that's the situation here. I know the mods are going to go crazy on this game, and it's got Tifa. Like, of course, there's already going to be a lot of mods for anything involving her, but now I think we're going to get the next level. And if that's something you're interested in, well, congratulations. You're going to get a lot more thanks to the word of this director here and what they were trying to accomplish. But that's going to do it for this video. A lot of censorship and talks of fan.
Yeah, there's not much to say. Personally, I do not like this the over sexualized stuff. However, censorship bad. If you don't like it, do not play it or view it or watch it or whatever.